Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel where we talk about reading, writing, note-taking, productivity, and everything to do with knowledge management. Today, we're talking about templates. In all of the knowledge software that I use, there is a template for any and all of my digital knowledge processes. If there is something I don't know how to do yet, be it time management, project planning, journaling, what have you, there is probably a template for it that I can just spin up and get started anyway. And I often wonder how much that template affects the knowledge that I can produce. Does it save time, unnecessary effort, and make our work more professional and standardized? Or does that standardization flatten the human experience, restrict creative thought, and force our personalities into cookie-cutter shapes? Today, I'm diving into templates with this video's sponsor, Scrintal, to find out how they affect my New Year's Eve goal setting and planning. Do they save time and streamline my ideas, or do they restrict me into one way of thinking about my approach to my future? Before I do that though, let me tell you a little bit about Scrintal and what they offer. Scrintal is a knowledge management software that features an infinite canvas to create a seamless thinking experience. It helps us move from ideas to insights and from writing to sharing to help us make sense of complex information. The app is easy to use and browser-based, so it syncs across your devices. Its two main features are blocks, the building blocks of your knowledge, which can be text, images, files, documents, etc., and boards, which is where you can place your blocks to start building your knowledge. They've also added an AI assistant to make your idea generation even more efficient. Scrintal has 3 pricing plans: monthly, yearly, and a 3-year plan. You can use my discount code Morgan10 at checkout, and it's valid on yearly and 3-year plans and valid for the first 12 months of monthly plans. But act fast because this offer is only available for 2 weeks after this video is posted. That's Morgan10 at checkout, or use the link in my description box below to purchase your Scrintal plan, and I will get a little portion of every sale as that is an affiliate link. Usually when I'm planning my New Year's resolutions, I actually choose a single word that is going to represent the kind of person I want to be for the year ahead. And I base this off of the Cortex podcast, which I don't really listen to, but I really love their idea of a yearly theme. Last year for me was the year of impact. I focused on my environmental impact, things that would make the biggest financial impact on my life, the impact of my feet hitting the ground as I go for more runs. And I think a yearly theme is a really nice, loose, individualized, low-pressure way to approach New Year's resolutions. It gives you something to ask yourself every time you go to make a decision. It's this holistic approach to New Year's resolutions. This year, though, I tried something a little different. I hopped into Scrintal and I chose 3 templates that were going to guide my New Year's resolutioning process. Specifically, templates for brainstorming, prioritizing, and scheduling my New Year's resolutions. And these 3 steps, brainstorming, prioritization, and scheduling, were chosen by Scrintal's templates from a list of 18 templates. And I recorded this entire process, so that is what you're going to see on the screen behind me as I talk about it. Let's start with brainstorming. To brainstorm what my New Year's resolutions were going to be, my goals for the new year, I chose Scrintal's mind mapping template. This is a pretty simple template. When you open it up, it gives you a title, mind mapping, a little description of what you're doing there, and then a central topic and some branches off into 3 subtopics, and then 2 key concepts for each of those subtopics. It has already color-coded these things for me, and it's also included these little words when, why, and where next to the branches off of the main topic. So one of the first things I did when I opened this template was get rid of the words when, where, why, because I wasn't like brainstorming about whether to do New Year's resolutions. I was brainstorming just the what. Just what are they? So this is already a way that I think Scrintal was trying to structure the type of brainstorming I was going to be doing before I even started brainstorming. So I just got rid of those questions. I put one topic in the center though, which was just my New Year's Eve goal planning, and I did choose exactly 3 subtopics. Now I do think the reason I chose 3 broad areas of my life within which to create resolutions around was because Scrintal suggested that I choose 3 subtopics. You're also kind of restricted by the mind mapping medium itself because, I mean, I guess it's an infinite canvas, so technically you could draw lines way out of the middle so that you've got space for as many subtopics topics as you want, but that starts to get a little unwieldy. So I did stick to just the 3. And by sticking to 3 main categories of my life, I think I already started kind of prioritizing the areas of my life I was going to focus on. And those for me specifically were content creation, academics, and health and wellness. I also chose some key concepts branching off of those subtopics. I didn't limit myself to 2 though. In the case of academics, the only real key concept there was my dissertation. Under health and wellness, the main things that I want to prioritize are exercise and reading. And then under content creation, I added a 3rd for kind of other, because I have my 2 main platforms, which are YouTube and Medium, even though I haven't been posting on Medium much lately. I hope to change that this year. But I do have a couple other things I want to try, including writing some fiction, specifically plays, and hopefully writing an ebook so that I can pass along my Zettelkasten knowledge in a different format than YouTube videos. Ultimately, with this Scrintal template, I didn't feel too forced into any one situation. I think Scrintal is a great place for mind mapping, specifically because they make it so easy to spin up a text block or an actual document where you can put more information into it. And that would be a next step for me in this mind map, would be to turn some of these text blocks into documents with a little more information about what I plan to do, and maybe images so that I can start a vision board, or links out to places that will help me achieve these goals. And then I can always refer back to those documents and update them and connect them to other documents, because of course Scrintal is Zettelkasten compatible. It has bidirectional linking. Scrintal also makes it really easy to draw connecting lines. You literally just click C and you're making a connecting line. And these connectors are automatically arrows, which had me thinking more in this linear step-by-step process. So once I put a goal down, I created an arrow to another goal, which was almost like the next step in that goal, like submit my dissertation, defend my dissertation, turn my dissertation into articles, and that was all kind of like this linear pathway, rather than just a free-for-all goal setting where the things have nothing to do with each other. On the screen now is my full mind map that I came up with. Of course, this is not, I think, everything that I want to do this year. There are some goals around my relationships that I would add to this. There's more ways that I would flesh it out by turning these into documents and interconnecting them and starting to actually maybe write the Medium articles within the document where I say I want to write more Medium articles. But overall, I was pretty satisfied with this mind map. It did help me develop some ideas, and this gave me a kind of networked list of all of the goals I had so that I could go into the next template. On the screen behind me now is my attempt at prioritizing my New Year's resolutions. And the reason I decided to take this next step is because Scrintal had a template called Prioritization Matrix, and it seemed like a logical next step for me to find some hierarchy of this random splattering of ideas. Like, how do I decide which of these potential resolutions to actually do, and in what order? I used this template almost exactly as is. When you open it up, it does explain what each quadrant is for in the middle of the quadrant, which was good for me because I've never actually used one of these matrices before, but I didn't want the explanations in the middle of the quadrant because I was going to put things in the quadrants. So I moved those a little outside and I changed their color so that it was obvious what they were. Also on the left of this template is a list of ideas, but I already made my giant network list of ideas in my mind map. So what I did instead was copy and paste those ideas from the left in my mind map over into my prioritization matrix. So I had this kind of seamless flow because it's all one infinite canvas from brainstorming the ideas to prioritizing the ideas. And it's really just drag and drop, so that was something that Scrintal did make a more seamless activity than maybe some other note-taking software that I'm used to. As I pulled things into these quadrants, I thought it would help to color code them as well. I decided to make all of the high impact items green, as in like, go do these things, they're going to impact your life the most, and the lower impact things a kind of yellow, as in like, proceed with caution. Looking at my prioritization matrix, it's kind of disappointing because some of the things that I'm most excited to do, like run an ultra marathon or do 10,000 steps a day for a month or create monthly calendars for my YouTube viewers so they know what to expect from me in the upcoming month, I felt like These things I was really excited about were kind of low impact and also low feasibility. Like, it's not like I need to run an ultramarathon to dive into health and wellness this year. Like, that's a little extra. So this was kind of a disappointing process, but maybe it was like a reality check for me. Also, looking at my prioritization matrix, I labeled a lot more things as high impact, and maybe it's not actually feasible for me to do that many high impact things in my life this year. So I'll put my finished matrix on the screen now. After finishing this matrix, I don't know if I have a better idea of what I should prioritize this year. I mean, technically I do. I can see what the high impact things are, but some of those low impact things I really want to do. So I don't know. If you've done any of these things and you want to tell me in the comments what you think the highest impact thing in my life would be, or what you think I should prioritize this year, then please go for it. The last template that I used that seemed like the logical next step from my priorities and my brainstorming was the annual roadmap. So let's actually pick some of these goals and put them on an annual calendar and see if it would be feasible for me to complete them. When you open this template in Scrintal, there are 4 projects that it offers you, and then different tasks and initiatives along the sort of monthly calendar. I ended up only going with 3 projects, specifically my YouTube content creation, my dissertation, and running a marathon. Yes, it was low impact and low feasibility on my prioritization matrix, but sometimes you just gotta do something for yourself, you know, and running makes me feel so good. Plus, I wanted to see if this seemed feasible alongside the other things, YouTube and dissertation, and seeing them laid out next to each other actually does kind of help. I will say though that this was the template I found the least user-friendly because it kind of has already decided how many layers of tasks you should have, and if you want to expand that layering, then you have to like select everything and drag it down, or that was the best method that I found. Also, they only give you like 2 or 3 task/initiative little buttons when you open the template, but I needed a lot more than that, so I found myself copy and pasting my previous ones to spin up new ones, and then dragging around the cards in this like precise way in a little area wasn't as easy for me as the kind of free-for-all of the prioritization matrix and the mind mapping. But I did use every aspect of this template. I did put my goals and then each of the sub goals underneath them. So why don't we focus specifically in on YouTube, because you might be specifically curious about what my plans are for this year. My sub goals for my YouTube channel were to hire a video editor so that I can increase my output, start a channel membership so that I can increase the kind of financial feasibility of continuing my YouTube channel, and then post more regularly for those members once I've started that channel membership. In the first few months of the year, I wanted to find that video editor and start doing some test edits with them to see if it worked. Brainstorm channel ideas for the upcoming year, of course. I already have 2 sponsored videos scheduled, including this one. And then also start asking you guys for your preferences around membership. And you know what? I haven't done that yet, so maybe this is a great opportunity. Could you comment below and tell me, if I started a YouTube membership, would you join? Or would you not join for sure? Or would you join depending on what the perks are? And I'll also say the perks that I'm considering including, because they're the ones I like the best, is extra videos that are specific to members. And if I did that, what are the extra videos that you would want from me? Would you want more insight into like me, or would you want more Obsidian specific stuff? Let me know your thoughts. So those were the tasks for YouTube for just the first 2 months, but I tried to flesh this out across the year, and I actually think just these 3 things, if that was all I was doing, which it's not, that seems pretty doable. I don't think I would use this annual roadmap beyond like right now. Like I've made it, I've set it. I think what I would use it for is to maybe once a month or so go back to it and see if I'm still on track from what New Year's Eve Morgan thought was achievable and exciting for this year. So the annual roadmap, not user-friendly enough for me to go back to like every day and check in on and change and alter and use as a kind of like calendar or schedule, but pretty enough and interesting enough to use as kind of a touch point so that I can go back to it over the course of this year and reflect on at the end of the year to see if I actually did what I set out to do. And those are the 3 ways that I set goals and then prioritized and scheduled those goals for 2025. Returning to the questions that I asked at the beginning of this video, did the templates save me time? A little bit, because I didn't have to think about how I was going to conduct my New Year's resolution planning, and I didn't have to figure out what that looked like. I didn't have to figure out what a prioritization matrix was or how to use it, because it was found within the template. But at the same time, I did have to remove some things from the templates because they didn't quite work for me. And I find a similar thing in other templates and other software, that if it's not just perfect, you end up spending so much time deleting things and moving things around to get it the way you want to be a template before you can actually fill it out, that it maybe doesn't take less time in the end than you just coming up with something yourself. Did I find that using templates for my New Year's resolutions restricted my thought? I think I would say no. I mean, Scrintal gives you the ability to drag and drop things everywhere, to add color, to add headings, images, and it's an infinite canvas, so you really can move things around everywhere. I think that the templates helped structure what I was doing, but they didn't feel limiting to me in what I could do. And that's because Scrintal as a software is flexible enough to stick with the template or break it apart completely. Other software are not so flexible or like user-friendly in that way. Anyway, thanks for joining me on this journey. Please let me know what your New Year's resolutions for 2025 are. What are you challenging yourself towards this year? If you have resolutions around knowledge management and note-taking, perhaps you want to try Scrintal out, in which case you can use my affiliate link in the description below or the code on the screen now. I hope you enjoyed this video. I personally don't know that I will use Scrintal's templates in the future because I have so many of my own ideas about how to organize ideas that I don't think they add that much to my process and might even slow me down. Plus, Scrintal makes it so quick and easy to create aesthetic elements to a board already. That said, their templates do give me good ideas about how to organize the elements that they offer on my boards. So even if I don't use the templates specifically, I might use them as inspiration for how to color code and organize things within Scrintal, because an infinite canvas can be kind of intimidating and it can be hard to decide where to start. So having a template there to hold my hand as I spin up a new board and start thinking with my ideas could actually be really helpful. Anyway, Happy New Year, everybody, and I'll see you in another video again soon. Bye.